Talking of which, let's take a look at some of those statistics out of a study from Tel Aviv University. The number of anti-Semitic incidents around the world dramatically increasing in the past year. In the United States, which has the largest Jewish population outside of Israel, the number of anti-Jewish hate crimes recorded in New York and Los Angeles were almost twice of the previous year. In France, an increase by almost 75% compared to 2020. And in Canada, a 40-year record in anti-Semitic physical violence in just 1 month. In the UK, it's even higher, 78%. And in Australia, a sharp rise too, with 88 anti-Semitic incidents recorded in May alone, the highest monthly total ever. So for more reaction, we now welcome Hen Mazzig, a senior fellow at the Tel Aviv Institute, and he joins us from London. Hen, thank you so much for your time. These statistics are simply alarming. Are you surprised at the sharp spike in anti-Semitic incidents around the globe?
It's absolutely alarming, and not to diminish the how serious and severe that is. We are at the Tel Aviv Institute. We're not surprised because we're monitoring hate speech online and anti-Semitism on a daily basis, and we're seeing this increase since last year. Just the numbers keep rising online. We're seeing the effect of it because we know that whatever happens online never stays online, and hate speech that starts there would most likely, trickle down to the streets. What is really, I think, is important to understand is that even hate speech that we're speaking about, anti-Semitism, 95% of anti-Semitic users on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram do not even express this hatred directly. They do it through analogies and coded language that hate speech trackers on Facebook and Twitter and other platforms are incapable of catching. And that, I think, is one of the most difficult realities that we have to face when we're trying to counter this hate speech and to stop it, because the reason that we have to stop it is because it doesn't stay online, and everything that starts there trickles down to the streets.
And not only an issue of trying to stop it, but let's be honest, trying to make sense of it. What happened in the last year? There was Operation Guardian of the Walls. We know there were an increase in incidents over that period. Some people, believe it or not, were blaming the Jewish community for COVID. What are the reasons that people like you are picking up that might attribute some kind of increase like this? It doesn't seem to make sense from the outside.
Right. I mean, I think it should make sense because for the whole month of May, people were, and I'm speaking about major influencers and people with tons of followers. I don't even want to mention their names to give them more exposure, but we know those supermodels and actors that engage in this rhetoric and claim that Jews are genocidal, thieving colonizers, that we have no homeland and no history. And then a lot of them were shocked to find out that people were anti-Semitic and that anti-Semitic hate crimes were increasing. It makes total sense, and it seems like everyone wants to speak about the Holocaust and compare modern issues and difficulties and challenges that they have in their life to the Holocaust, but no one really wants to talk about anti-Semitism and hatred to Jews. And that's the one thing that we have to change, and we're doing that at Tel Aviv Institute. We are educating people about the Jewish community and about anti-Semitic tropes, and we have to let the public understand the things that are so obvious for many Jews. We know what hatred against us is, but we are being gaslighted, and people online are claiming that we don't really know what hatred against us is. And I think that the more we speak up, the more Jews online are sharing their experience, and the more allies we have that elevate our voices, the harder it becomes for people to hate us. That when they see that we are everywhere, and that's something that I think we all need to do. We need to be very much more proud and much more outspoken about our identity. And when they see that we are everywhere, they will not be able to lie about us that easily, I think.
And as you say, with Holocaust Remembrance Day, you may have heard our previous guest talking about the importance of speaking out. Does it make a difference? It's very difficult to assess, obviously, on social media, but the significance of the people that are telling the stories about the facts, exactly what did happen during the Holocaust.
It's tremendously important, and we are working with a few Holocaust survivors, and we're digitalizing and using social media. One of them is Lucy Lipner, which she has a Twitter account, and we're using Twitter to tell her story. We're working with her on the tweets. She's helping us craft them. And it's so important to do that. And if you have access to a Holocaust survivor and you want to start a Twitter account or Instagram account, we would love to help you. But I think we should all try that and do that, because there's such a lack of knowledge and education around the Holocaust. I know we might think that it's so obvious, but there's so much Holocaust denial and lies and anti-Semitism, as we mentioned. And it's really, really important that we share those stories in a way that we meet people where they are.